In recent times, a harrowing trend has been quietly escalating within our communities. Young black men grappling with severe depression and mental health challenges, concealed behind a facade of resilience. This silent crisis carries devastating implications, not just for individuals, but for families, friends, and society's very fabric. The complex interplay of socioeconomic factors, historical trauma, and systemic discrimination has engendered a unique set of challenges for young black men. The burden of societal expectations and stereotypes, coupled with limited access to culturally competent mental health resources, further exacerbates their struggles. As a result, many young black men find themselves navigating a labyrinth of anguish and despair with inadequate support and understanding. The impact of this distressing reality is far-reaching, extending beyond the individual to affect families, communities, and the broader society. The silence and stigma surrounding mental health in the black community often lead to individuals suffering in isolation, amplifying the risk of untreated mental illness and, tragically, the rising rates of suicide. To address this pressing issue, it is imperative to foster a culturally sensitive approach to mental health care that acknowledges and respects the unique experiences and challenges faced by young black men. By promoting open conversations, providing accessible and inclusive mental health services, and challenging ingrained stereotypes, we can begin to dismantle the barriers that hinder young black men from seeking and receiving the support they desperately need. Furthermore, initiatives aimed at empowering and educating communities about mental health, as well as advocating for policies that prioritize mental well, are crucial steps in creating a more supportive and nurturing environment for young black men. By fostering a culture of understanding, empathy, and holistic support, we can hope to stem the tide of despair and foster resilience and healing within the black community. In conclusion, the harrowing escalation of mental health challenges and suicide rates among young black men is a multifaceted issue that demands urgent attention and comprehensive action. By addressing the intersection of socioeconomic factors, historical trauma, and systemic discrimination, and by prioritizing culturally sensitive and inclusive mental health care, we can work towards a future where young black men no longer suffer in silence, but instead find hope, healing, and the support they deserve. Alarming statistics reveal a significant surge in suicide rates among young black men, highlighting an urgent need for focused attention and action. This distressing pattern stems from a deep-rooted historical context where mental health discussions were considered taboo within the black community. Cultural expectations of strength and resilience often overshadowed vulnerability and open dialogue about emotional well-being. My personal journey through depression offers a glimpse into the pervasive grip this silent adversary has on individuals. Fear of judgment or misunderstanding prevents many from acknowledging their struggles, further isolating those in desperate need of support. Comprehending this crisis requires recognizing its historical roots and present manifestations. The persisting stigma around mental health in the black community complicates help-seeking efforts. Additionally, structural inequalities contribute to limited access to mental health resources, leaving many young black men without necessary support systems to navigate their challenges effectively. Understanding the persisting stigma around mental health in the black community complicates help-seeking efforts. Additionally, structural inequalities contribute to limited access to mental health resources, leaving many young black men without necessary support systems to navigate their challenges effectively. To address this crisis, it is imperative to implement culturally sensitive mental health initiatives tailored to the unique experiences of young black men. This involves dismantling stereotypes of strength and resilience that discourage seeking help and promoting open discussions about emotional well-being within the community. Furthermore, advocating for policy changes to increase access to mental health resources and destigmatize mental health discussions is crucial in providing the support and resources necessary for young black men to thrive. By acknowledging the historical context and present manifestations of this crisis, we can work towards building a more empathetic and supportive environment for the mental well-being of young black men. This multifaceted crisis is dominated by stigma and silence, formidable barriers to seeking mental health support. For many young black men, admitting the need for help feels akin to declaring personal failure due to deeply ingrained narratives around masculinity and toughness. This often leads to dangerous isolation where individuals suffer in silent agony rather than face potential criticism or misunderstanding. Compounding the issue is the glaring lack of accessible, culturally sensitive mental health resources tailored to the unique challenges faced by Black men. Many existing services fail to address the intersectionality of race, gender, and socioeconomic status, leaving a gaping void in supportive care that truly understands their lived experiences. Furthermore, socioeconomic factors exacerbate mental health disparities. Economic instability, job insecurity, and systemic discrimination create an environment rife with stressors that can precipitate or worsen mental health conditions. Tragically, these socioeconomic hurdles also make accessing quality care even more challenging. The implications of this crisis extend far beyond the individuals affected, sending ripples throughout communities and generations. Each suicide leaves a wake of grief, confusion, and often unaddressed trauma, profoundly impacting families and eroding community cohesion. It's not just the loss of a single life, but the potential erosion of familial structures, cultural vibrancy, and societal progress. This crisis threatens to rob society of future leaders and innovators who could have made significant contributions had they received necessary mental health support. The potential squandered due to inadequately addressed mental illness represents an incalculable loss to humanity's collective progress. Moreover, there looms the specter of intergenerational trauma, with cycles of pain perpetuating across generations within communities. Without intervention, these patterns risk becoming entrenched norms, making it even harder for future generations to break free from the shackles of depression and mental illness. Understanding these wider impacts underscores the urgent need for concerted efforts aimed at breaking this cycle. An investment in the futures of families, communities, and society's resilience against loss and despair. The path to healing and mitigating this crisis begins with implementing community-based mental health initiatives that acknowledge the unique experiences of young Black men. Programs tailored to meet them where they are, both literally in their communities and figuratively within their cultural contexts, can significantly reduce barriers to seeking help. Such initiatives must emphasize confidentiality, understanding, and a judgment-free approach rooted in cultural competence. Equally crucial is breaking the stigma through education and open dialogue. Facilitating conversations about mental health within families, schools, churches, and broader social networks can slowly erode misconceptions surrounding mental illness. By normalizing these discussions, we empower individuals to seek help without fear of reprisal or judgment. Lastly, there must be concerted efforts toward policy changes for better access to mental health care. This means advocating for policies that increase funding for mental health services, remove bureaucratic hurdles to accessing care, and ensure insurance systems fairly cover mental health treatment as they do physical health ailments. Finding light at the end of this tunnel calls for collective acknowledgement followed by compassionate action from all societal sectors, a future where support systems robustly cater to young Black men's mental well-being, promising not only individual recovery but societal progress toward greater inclusiveness, equity, and healthiness. Thank you for taking the time to engage with this important discussion. If you found this topic thought-provoking and want to explore more insightful content, make sure to like and subscribe to PK's BookSmarts. By supporting content creators like PK, you not only encourage the exploration of crucial issues, but also contribute to the amplification of diverse voices and perspectives. Together, we can foster a more inclusive and informed community. Like and subscribe now to stay updated on future thought-provoking topics.